What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the $10,000 EIDL grant stimulus update. 3 big questions. It is Monday, March the 29th, 2021. Please do me each favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with your comments below. And don't forget, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Remote Online. That's at Remote Online. We are the #1, thanks to you guys, trending EIDL profile in the entire world. Some of our tweets get between 50 and over 100 retweets, likes, and comments. So it's at Remote Online. I can assure you that we're making a huge difference on your behalf in the last couple of weeks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you a few big questions. But before I do, let's do a quick review. I saw 4 screenshots this weekend of people that got the balance of the $10,000. So I need everybody right now. If you've gotten approved, #1, if you've gotten approved for the targeted EIDL advance, please tell everybody in the comments. When was it? Are you still waiting on your money? And if you're among what the SBA says is about 5% that have actually gotten paid, if you've gotten deposit, we don't want to see your screenshots, no personal information. If you've gotten the balance of 10 grand, and again, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes from 4 people, make sure you tell us in the comments below. I think we had 2 people that commented on it on the last video that we did. We need to know the answer to that. All right, in the meantime, we are hearing there's still another 3 or 4 weeks for targeted EIDL advance emails to go out. They've sent out the vast majority of those that got $1,000 per employee, although some of you are still getting those. The next 3 or 4 weeks are for the middle of July and December 27th when they ran out of money. So if you are definitely in a low-income community based on the census tract at sba.gov, don't lose hope. If you want to call and navigate their new phone tree, it is possible. 800-659-2955, that's the SBA. You're going to have to push a number of buttons to get through to somebody, but it is possible. 800-659-2955. Another trick that you can do that I used with reconsiderations to get much faster response from the SBA is write your 2 senators' privacy release form. That's the subject line. Hi, Senator. I am in a low-income community and haven't heard any information with respect to the targeted EIDL advance. I applied last April 2020 and should have heard from the SBA by now. Can you please send me a privacy release form and reach out to them on my behalf? You send that and you're going to have to call 3 or 4 times. You'll eventually get the staff to either call you back or they'll just send you the privacy release form. You sign it, they call up the SBA. They say, hey, hi, one of my constituents is waiting on her targeted EIDL advance email. She applied last April, and many of these folks that are working on this, they're new paralegals, new loan officers, most of them working out of the house, and they see Senator so-and-so that's on TV. It makes them sit up in their chair and go digging for your file. So it's a privacy release form. You use that as your subject line and rewatch the video if you want to get an idea of what to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few questions. For everybody that's outside a low-income community, I want to hear from you in the comments. Because you may have watched Mr. Maher, somebody I love and respect. I think he's got everybody's best interest at heart. He did another video with his source, who I think is fairly logical, from the SBA. I think the thumbnail says $10,000 EIDL. Go watch it. It's within 24 hours old. But he asked 3 or 4 questions, and that gave me 3 or 4 questions. So pull up a chair, grab an ice cold beer, glass of wine, cup of coffee. Here we go. I know I was a little out of order. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. All right, we learned in that video from Max, from his source at the SBA, a number of really good, interesting items. #1, they're going to move the caps up to $2 million in the coming months. Question #1, and Max, I would love for you to reach out to your source and the next video or so, answer these 3 or 4 questions. Because it's jumping off the page, especially the last one I'm going to ask you, because there's a major disagreement between Jacky Rosen's office, who we have spoke to, and the SBA, and we need to get to the bottom of it. But question #1 is, if you're going to release the caps and raise them to $2 million in the coming months, why don't you do it now? The investigative reporter let us all in on a little secret. A dirty little secret that the SBA has $271 billion of unspent funding. Well, if you're going to release them in the coming months without any new funding that's currently on the docket, unless Jacky Rosen's bill gets through, which has, to my knowledge, they took out the loan money. So why aren't you raising the caps now? Now, if the reason is you want to give smaller businesses a chance to go first, I'm all right with that, but I would like an answer. If you plan on raising the caps to $2 million in the coming months, why don't you just do it now? That's question number one. Question number two revolves around, I hear they're opening up a portal in the next few weeks to a month. Fantastic news. In other words, if you somehow didn't apply and you still qualify, you applied after December 27's cutoff, there may be a portal for the targeted EIDL advance for low-income communities. Tremendous. They've got at least $30 to $35 billion worth of funding. But my question is, number two, why are we allowing some people to cut the line when we have over 5 million people in middle and high income communities that are waiting on $10,000 regardless of size or location? To me, this is like being at the supermarket, right? It's packed. It's on a Saturday or Sunday. Maybe there's a snowstorm. A quarter of an inch is due in Atlanta, and everybody's after the bread and milk, right? Well, you're standing in line for 15 minutes, and here comes some a-hole thinking he's going to cut the line. Well, not if I'm standing in line. There'll be a verbal and perhaps a to the back of the line because I don't tolerate that. We have our great veterans. Thank you very much for serving this country. We have single moms and dads who have 3 or 4 kids in the other room for upwards of a year, screaming their head off. They've been hanging on to the side of a building with somebody pouring oil and lubricants down, trying to keep from falling 45 stories. Hey, it's a Monday. That's not a bad analogy. And we're going to allow some people that are just now coming in to step in front and get $10,000 in full because there is no balance or thereof for those. I don't think so. So Max, I would love to have you ask your source. We want an explanation. How are you able to open a portal when you have millions of people that are waiting for upwards of a year for what they were promised in the CARES Act? Which leads me to my final question, or two. Jacky Rosen's letter to Isabel Guzman, pinned in the top comment. I've read it out loud a number of times, but last video, watch it if you haven't already, I read the paragraph where Jacky Rosen, who is the co-author of the EIDL for Small Business Act, known as S513 now, it's gone from S4227 to S513 on this reintroduction they did a couple of weeks ago. You may have seen me tweeting along with others in reference to that. Chuck Schumer, are you going to bring it to the floor? Or are you going to go on vacation and maybe come back the middle of fucking July and take a vote on it? What are you waiting for? Jacky Rosen clearly states, Miss Isabel Guzman, it was a violation of congressional intent when the prior administration rationed the grant and the loans through Miss Jacky Rosen. She didn't throw her under the bus. She should have. That woman, as far as I'm concerned, destroyed more small businesses than she saved. And everybody, if they're honest, knows that. But she says in there that the prior administration illegally or wrongfully rationed the loans and the grant. So my question is, if you have a senator who is the author of S513, telling Miss Isabel Guzman to use her discretion, and in that one line where she says, you do not need any new legislation to do this. Well, according to Max's source, when he said, well, there's campaigns out there. Gee, I wonder who the campaigns are trying to say that they can use their discretion. Moi, and everybody else out there that's fighting on your behalf. So my question is, Mr. or Mrs. Source at the SBA, how come you have a senator telling you you don't need to have new legislation? And here's my common sense thought of the day. Yes, I am the king of keep it simple, stupid, ladies and gentlemen. If Miss Jacky Rosen, the prior administrator at the SBA, someone I loathe, versus Miss Isabel Guzman, who I love and respect, done a tremendous job so far. If Miss Carranza illegally violated congressional intent and rationed the grants and the loans, why can't Miss Guzman use the same level of discretion to undo what her predecessor did? It's not like you're going out of your way to retweak the law. Carranza broke the law. Guzman's going to put the law back together. She already has 50 letters now from Schumer, Pelosi, and everybody else on both sides of the aisle. She just had the new letter from Miss Jacky Rosen saying, you don't need new legislation. We're giving you permission, or you have authority, take your pick, to act on behalf of the small business owners, millions who have been stuck in the queue and they want their $10,000, regardless of size, location, or credit score. And while we're at it, get rid of that damn 30-50% economic bullshit, because it was not in the CARES Act. Because here's the deal, Ms. Guzman and source at the SBA. Do you know what kind of mess you've got on your hands? If all of a sudden, a few weeks from now, Jacky Rosen, either through legislation or they get President Biden to draft a note saying, just honor the CARES Act as written and give everybody 10 grand, you're going to have to be reaching out to people you're declining. Because one other thing that's very disturbing in that source of yours, Max, is they're going to start sending out denial letters. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. The reason why some of you that are in low-income communities haven't heard anything for upwards of a month, it's because the SBA is getting ready to say, I don't think so. Now, most of you are going to get the 10 grand or the balance thereof. But they've been sandbagging denials. Watch Max's newsletter. How do you think that's going to go over? You've got people that have been sucking wind and hanging on by their fingernails as someone's pouring lubricants down the side of the building, and the SBA is going to come out and say, oh, geez, it looks like you had a 29.7% economic loss. I don't think so. Denied. Do you know what kind of mess we're going to have on our hands? Ms. Guzman, source at the SBA, I would encourage you to reach out to Ms. Jacky Rosen, who is still standing by what she said in that letter. You do not have to draft new legislation. You can use your discretion, just like your predecessor, to undo the mess that she started. And that's move the caps back to $2 million and give everybody, regardless of size, location, or credit score, the $10,000 or the balance thereof they were promised by the CARES Act. Because if you don't, you're going to have to go back to all those people you're about to decline, some of which are probably going to hire a lawyer and challenge your decision that may not even allow a reconsideration. It's going to be an absolute cluster, you know what. So, Ms. Guzman, as I called on you the other day, please use your discretion. The senator, at a minimum, is giving you permission to do so. And to the source that Max has at the SBA, please reach out to him and clarify if it is okay. And if it's not okay, I want a specific reason why you differ with the senator who's telling you to go ahead and pull the trigger and get everybody 10 grand and move the caps back to $2 million. Almost threw up coffee. Until next time, always remember, it's a Monday. I love you. Thanks for watching.